Good morning to most, good afternoon to others, and good evening to the viewing audience across the pond. I am your host, Jason Miles, here for another episode of This is Revolution podcast. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us on, for me, what is a lovely Saturday morning. I do want to apologize for starting so late. I can blame no one but myself. It's just my fault. I had no technical difficulties. I just overslept. So it's my fault. If you are a returning listener, subscriber, or one of our very valued patrons, fuck yeah! Thank you for joining us. Thank you for dealing with me in my Axl Rose time. All that being said, TIR is a listener-supported labor of love, and we can't do this without y'all. So if you enjoy what we do here on TIR and have the means and feel so inclined, become a patron for as little as $3 a month or $30 for the year. You can not only make sure we stay on the air, but you can access champagne rooms, patron-only call-in shows, and you get discounts on live events. And that's right, like the one we just did this past 2 Thursdays ago. I don't know. It's just in the Bay Area. For that one, we give discounts for our patrons for the live events that we do. So, before I bring in the crew, which I'm actually very excited to have back, it feels like rare occasion when the original 3 is all in the room together. So it should be fun. Me and a bunch of Haitians. We're barely 100 days into Trump 2.0, and Liberation Day would liberate America from the tyranny of bad trade deals and lead us into a new era of economic independence. These global tariffs are going to bring back manly manufacturing jobs. Trump is attempting to use this nostalgic rhetoric to harken back to the 1950s, a time when many agree America was at its economic best. It's another poor attempt by Trump to curry favor with an outraged public. To make America great, then you have to return the country to its mid-century moment of economic dominance, a rosy vision of single-income homes where people could have children, vacation, and send their offspring to college, and retire with a pension and Social Security. A man could have a manly factory job that didn't require years of post-secondary education. No need to burden oneself with a mountain of student debt. While many Americans agree that the U.S. needs a strong manufacturing sector, not many people are willing to take part in the manly jobs. The hidden truth that many people don't want to say out loud is that we like our made in China cheap stuff, be it fast fashion garments or iPhones and disposable electronics. We don't mind all that much that it is made by exploitable, redundant foreign labor. Recently, China attacked the idea of the U.S. return to manufacturing labor with a series of AI videos depicting large, unhappy Americans toiling away at factory jobs. While many Americans would like a manufacturing sector to return and opine for those good old days, they don't remember the danger of factory work and the monotony that was involved. There was a reason your grandparents wanted you to go to school and get a good job, because the factory wasn't it. Now, while there was a time the factory job was ideal, America was in a different place globally. Post-World War II, the U.S. didn't have to rebuild due to wars being fought on our soil. Latin America hadn't had their liberation movements. Japan was under our control. China was still very much agrarian, and Europe was rebuilding after hosting and fighting 2 world wars. America was in prime position for hegemonic power, and the 1950s was a time where there was higher worker union density, so better wages, which equated to more growth and class mobility. Automation has rendered much of this manly work non-existent, and the jobs that America needs are actually, quote, female coded: nurse, care work for the massive aging population of baby boomers. So will the tariffs bring back the manly factory jobs, or are we fooling ourselves into thinking that we have a chance at this imagined postmodern city on a hill? Besides automation, many jobs aren't unionized, and pay is lower now than it was years ago if you adjust for inflation. Before manly men retake these jobs, they might have to compete with children. That's right, child labor is making a comeback as well, as employers understand the realities facing them. And outside of migrants, the only people that may do these jobs are kids. So will MAGA make jobs great and manly again? Or is this more kayfabe for Trump 2.0? To discuss this with me, I have my homie, my co-host, my dog. He's the man of the Mile Hour. He is the Pascal Robert.
Peace and greetings to the chat. Peace and greetings to the audience. Peace and greetings, Jason Miles. Well, all right.
And also to discuss this, we have the voice of reason who has a lot to say about these, quote, manly jobs. Please welcome M. Toussaint.
Hello, hello. I would just like to say happy birthday to Stefanovic, Ilyevich, Bertrandovich.
Oh, is
Russell
it Stefan's
Cooper.
birthday?
Yeah, it is. It's Stefan's birthday.
Is he 28?
He's forever 21, like Quinn.
He looks forever 21.
He really does.
Wow, Stefan's birthday.
Yep.
Happy birthday, Stefan. It's been he's been around for at least 4 years, huh?
Yeah, it's been a while, right?
I think he's been around for 4 years. Does that seem crazy, Pascal, that Stefan's been around TIR for 4 years?
Does he still do the show with Ben Burgess on Sundays?
They have one of the top 10 shows for this month, the one they did last week, actually.
Every Sunday. You should watch.
Stefan is pretty good.
People.
Stefan actually does a PowerPoint presentation because he's getting his doctorate. So a lot of this is getting him ready to defend his doctoral thesis.
That's very impressive for a 21-year-old.
21-year-old that went to go fight in northern Syria.
That's right. That's our skinny Thor. Never forget.
They had so many nicknames for him because of that picture. But let's get to the topic at hand. Toussaint, manly jobs. What was your first thought when I sent you that invite for this show?
I was like, hey man, what's a manly job? What's a manly job? And who has them already? And who's gonna take these manly jobs? From what I see online and in talking to dudes and dealing with dudes, they are in their soft era.
They are in their soft era.
That's right. The guys are in their soft era.
So
and
they basically just saying these dudes are too bitch ass to be able to take these jobs in the first place.
You need to understand a very important reality.
Damn.
In 2025, men are the prize, not women.
I don't even have a comeback for that. All I can do is I'm just going to sit here softly with my pinky out.
There you go.
And sip this coffee.
Well, you have the most desired job of all of Gen Z.
You know what's funny when you say that? I'm being totally serious. So I'd like to leave my house to do work. So I was writing something and I was at a cafe and some people were asking me some questions, like if I lived here and if I liked it. Like they had a little kid that couldn't have been more than like 12. So actually Gen Alpha. And they were like, well, what do you do here for work? And I was like, oh, I work online. And they're like, oh, what kind of work? And they kind of just kept probing. And I was like, well, I have a show on YouTube. And they looked at their kid. They're like, see, he's a YouTuber. And the kid goes, wow. It's not a wow thing, kid. Like I don't play video games and talk about Roblox. I don't know what you think I do.
Yeah.
But I work in the dark side of the internet, kid.
You stealing people's social security numbers on air. You work on the dark side of the internet.
You work in the dark web? No, left media where there's no money. And one has to struggle to survive. It's dog eat dog in left media, kid.
Jason has podcaster's lung.
a cigarette just formed out of thin air, and I was like, "Look here, kid, go to school and get yourself a real job. Get a factory job. Get a pension. You don't want this life, kid."
What say you, Mr. Robert? You too are a podcaster with the most desired job. The most desired job is actually influencer. Gen Z, 53% of them want to be influencers. So, as an
Man,
influencer, Mr. Robert, what do you say?
are these the men? Is this is the kind of manly jobs that these kids want?
Yes.
Now I said now I know why you call them soft.
Well, hey,
Damn.
they are in their soft guy era. I did not call them soft.
But why are they so mean to women on those balloon pop shows?
That's part of their manliness.
Fuck.
They got tons of sperm stuck in them that can't come out.
Oh my god!
Wow.
I think that's beyond soft guy.
Dr. Robert.
I think that's prison guy.
They're frustrated.
Oh, you mean
They're angry.
stuck like that? I thought you meant stuck like because they got such a.
No.
Yikes. Coming in hot. 10 minutes in.
Well, that's what I thought he said. This.
I think that this notion that Trump is going to be able to bring back the days of factory work and the glory days of men. Is kind of problematic in terms of the logistics. First of all, like, what about things like AI? Aren't they going to be able to take a lot of these technological jobs and replicate them with automation?
That's the
Not-
plan. It's not working exactly that way right now.
For example, even in China is cutting its poverty, but it's not replicating its workforce with more of these quote unquote, I hate to use the term peasants, of the peasant labor going into factories. Their workforce is being automated. So exactly who exactly is going to, what jobs is he trying to create? And also one of the things we have to realize is that because of the cost of living in the United States, labor costs are always going to be precipitously higher than anywhere else in the developing world. What companies are going to want to come to the United States and have to pay at least $20 an hour to pay a U.S. worker when they can go to China and pay them or Mexico and pay them like $9 a day?
Well, that the car manufacturing sector really speaks to that, right? Because so many cars are actually assembled here in Mexico. And while there is union jobs, they make extremely less money per hour than American workers. And the same can be said for like shoes, right? I think one thing that I've noticed, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this too, these like legacy brands are really facing some competition from overnight online stuff, which I find really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
People really don't mind wearing Walmart shoes or just something they found on an Instagram ad or something like that. So
Skechers.
wow, is this Skechers making a comeback? I haven't seen Skechers in the real world, but I have seen people and myself. I won't say guilty of it. I've done it with pride. The last tour we went on, we didn't have shoes to like exercise in, and we would go to the gym to shower, and then we'd just work out. So we went to Walmart and they have these $9.99 shoes. And when I ran into one of the guys from the band when we did the live show, he goes, "Dude, I've bought a pair of those shoes every year since that tour because it's my favorite." It was his favorite running shoe. And I've seen more and more people do stuff like that. So, we do like cheap shit. And there's no way you're going to get a $9.99 running shoe made in America, even with non-union wages.
It's fact.
So, How does framing the industrial revival as a quest to restore masculine jobs reinforce gender binaries in the labor market? Toussaint.
Gender binaries in the labor
And
market.
let me add this to it. In what ways does this rhetoric obscure the real economic and technological forces reshaping work?
One thing that I find interesting is that the era in manufacturing in the United States that I think is the most famous is the 1940s during World War II,
Mm-hmm.
when all the men went to war and the women were in the factories.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea that these factory jobs would be like so male coded is a little bit strange. It definitely is part of Eric W.'s right, reinforcing the idea that women need to be in their place. Because as soon as World War II ended, the women were thrown back into the house and pushed into a baby boom. So they were pushed out of the public sector. But then you have women of color who have always been working.
My grandmother was a Rosie the Riveter. She actually, they had a whole exhibit where I'm from in Richmond, California, because that was a big hub for building war stuff, and that's where she met my grandfather.
Oh wow!
Yep. Did your mom work in that field too, Pascal, or was she in Haiti still?
No, my mom was born she was too young to be working during the World War II era. She was born in 1941.
Oh, okay.
So
She was
she,
still in Haiti.
yeah, she was a kid pretty much in that period of time.
Mm-hmm.
But no, that's actually really interesting that we look at this and say the word manly jobs when there's also kind of the counter image, I think, of the 40s, and I still see people kind of use this as like profile pictures and stuff, which is the woman flexing, the Rosie
Right.
flex. Isn't it more of a time to look back on when the country kind of came together?
Well, I think that let's call it what it is. I mean, Trump, part of this we cannot forget, is existing in a time when there is this never-ending consternation about a crisis of masculinity that's being circulated in the interwebs, and everyone from Jordan Peterson to Andrew Tate to Nick Fuentes is talking about, oh, the men are men, to Candace Owens. The men are soft, these boys. What's the problem? Candace Owens whining about, I like strong men to beat me.
He's got to deal with this hair. Who's going to straighten that hair?
Turn those damn edges. Turn her damn edges. Or lack thereof.
I need a strong man that's going to deal with these edges. I need a strong man that can get this hot comb through these weeds. Okay, I'm sorry.
Talk about the kitchen, boy.
I grew up, my mom did hair in the kitchen, so I grew up listening to my mom yell at black women in their hair. So I kind of came out of the womb with a bunch of incels. Pew, 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 pew. Blame Pam.
Blame Pam.
Blame Pam. From now on, if you guys have a problem, just blame Pam. It's the hashtag.
You saw the hot comb.
Oh man,
the smell of it.
Just hearing her yell at women, just for no reason. They yell at her.
Sit down, girl.
Pam, this burn. Girl, you should have been scratching your head all damn day. Nappy ass head.
Yeah, that is a thing. That's a thing. You are not supposed to scratch your head before you get a relaxer.
Toussaint.
That's right. You're supposed to pat your head.
When that dude, what's his name, Funny Marco, told that white girl, I need a girl patting her head all day, talking about where my baby
You also pat your head if you have like a weave or something, and you can't really scratch because your hair is in braids under the weave.
Oh, that just sounds like too much work.
I agree.
Do you ever hear these dudes on the balloon pop shows like, I like my woman natural? I'm like, nigga, quit lying.
That's fact.
Shit, lying ass Negroes.
They don't know the difference.
They don't.
Be honest, they don't know.
Just tell, this is what you want.
Yeah.
If I'm with a woman that does this, I'm gonna have a lot of problems in my life, but I'm gonna be okay.
I was told that men like the kind of hair on women that they would draw when they were little kids. If we're just like that. That is what hair is to them. And if it just looks like that, it's fine.
Like what?
Oh, if it looks like a little kid's drawing of hair, then it's fine. That's all they're looking for.
Wait. When I would draw people, I would draw hair like you stuck your finger in a light socket. So apparently, I need more women that look like Basquiat.
Something like that. See, that's your real type.
Tony Red said Lisa Simpson hair. Yeah, I was drawing goofy shit like that.
Wow.
That's what you need.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, I will add, since the women are supposed to be back in the kitchen and stuff, Trump is also supporting a baby boom.
Oh, baby,
Yes.
boom,
No, that she's
push.
like,
Forget
yeah.
boom. It's not a boom. It's a push.
It's a push.
He wants
He's
to give.
trying.
Was it tax breaks? What was it again?
You get $5,000 for every baby you have.
Yeah.
And there's a Mother's Medal of Honor for women who have more than 6 children.
That's fair. I've seen birth 4 times, and each time I saw it, I always went, oof. There's never been a time I saw a birth and went,
What does that smell like? What does that smell like? Oh,
like every time I've seen birth, I've always been like, man.
I just imagine it smelling funky up in there, man.
No, it actually doesn't smell like anything. To be honest with you, it doesn't smell like anything. I'm being totally serious. That would be something I would totally remember. No, it's always you're kind of blown away by how big the portal gets.
Portal. It is kind of from another dimension.
Yeah, you're like, holy shit. The first kid, Jayla, the doctor, I swore he put his arm in my ex-wife up to his elbow and pulled out that child.
There's a lot of room in there.
Yeah, it was insane. It's the most insane thing you're ever going to see. And if you shade out 6 of those things, you deserve a medal and at least like a Walmart gift card.
Something.
This is this biracial couple on Instagram.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
This woman will not stop having kids, man.
They like to see what they're going to look like. That's what I think that couple is into.
They all look like her.
The latest one has brown hair, though, and blue eyes, which is
I know
different
exactly
than
the
other
family
kids.
you're talking about, dude. It is so insane.
They're so weird.
She's an old Tradwife, very religious Christian family. They have 11 or 12 kids. How many kids do they have now? 12?
It's some insane number. And you know they're all homeschooled.
Which is another super
They're
weird
just
thing.
stupid as shit, too. Just cute kids, dumb as fuck.
The world needs more of those.
No, I hope that's not right. On a whole bunch of levels, it's not right.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't know how they do the Tradwife thing with the homeschooling. I feel like that's just a total extra unnecessary layer. I get that it's difficult to drive the kids to school and all the stuff that they do, but like homeschooling them, I don't know. There's this joke. Who wants to? I always tell it actually. Um, who wants to be a housewife? Who wants to be married to a house? But you really are bound to that house. You homeschool those kids. You don't even drop them off at school. You are in that house all the time.
That house has got to be like a prison.
Yeah.
Those kids are probably like a chain gang too at a certain point.
Chain gang. Kids don't be doing nothing.
Tilling the fields.
This is the problem with the left's attitude towards the family. That's why y'all are anti-family. See, y'all don't want to have no babies, and have no kids, and no
This
wives.
is the problem with leftists. They're afraid to fornicate. Well, according to Pascal, he's going to fornicate. The problem with you is just covered in post-fornication.
Officially, the leftist position is to support women in whatever they want to do. If they want to work outside the home, if they want to have kids, if they don't want to have kids, but particularly the women who do have kids, they obviously need more support. So the leftist position is, maternity leave and paternity leave and, stuff like that.
Okay, this is a comment. It's not a super chat, but I'm going to read it. My wife's best friend has 12 kids, all homeschooled. The dad was supposed to have a vasectomy after the third, but they said no, they would leave it up to the Lord. Their God is a dick.
Maybe literally. Like
Double entendre.
Yeah.
That sucks. Look, if you have a farm in 1815, maybe you need 12 kids because some are going to die, right? Okay. I get it.
It's true.
It's just part of a business. You don't love them. It's a different time.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2025. There's no reason why you need 12 children.
Maybe
Just pull
Kowalski
out,
from
dude.
Nebraska needs 12 children.
Just pull out, brother. It's fine. It's
Even
wonderful
farming
thing
is
to do.
recognized now.
You got to make it a game. Put little target things all over the bedroom for your pulling out or something. I don't know
We
what
need
to tell you.
to make vasectomies great again.
Ooh.
When were they ever great?
Hey.
I have some friends that'll tell you right after they had that kid, they didn't want.
It is wonderful then. If you really want to, it's reversible. That's what I hear.
It's not.
No?
No, it's a myth.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I heard sometimes they undo themselves.
It's not a 6-year-old tying his shoes, man. It's nuts.
Why are your shoes untied again?
Can't Velcro a man's nuts.
Well, okay, look, before you go, put some on ice and then tie the shoes.
Put some on ice?
Yeah.
What? Testicles or sperm?
Sperm.
That's got both.
Both. This is supposed to be a serious discussion.
I wrote questions and everything. I just want people to know that my intention was not for the sideways nature of this show. This is what happens when you put this many colored folks on the screen.
Oh, you know, we were talking about the man, and Trump.
Oh shit! Somebody said Shannon Sharp taking notes.
Ooh, child.
Did you hear the
notes on
phone
something.
call? Did you hear the phone call?
No.
I'm gonna choke your neck.
I guess what they left out is they had a mutually masochistic relationship.
Masochistic? It was BDSM and G. What was you talking about?
What's
man?
the G for? Gonads?
Good
Asked
look.
and then answered it.
Shannon Sharp, man. Oh my God,
Can
man.
you be mutually masochistic? It sounds like she wanted him to be the dominant one.
Dude, I didn't realize that the girl, was she 21?
She was 19 when they started.
Oh, it's just hurting everybody.
25K a cheek.
Oh.
So they say for age gap relationships,
Uh-huh.
if the gap in age is larger than the age of the younger person, you definitely shouldn't do it.
Oh. Like at what point? Okay. I was trying to tighten up the intro, and someone put all these King of the Hill episodes on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And there was this episode where Luann
Mm-hmm.
was dating an older rich man,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying the meanest shit to her and convincing her that it wasn't mean.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I'm afraid I don't know as much as you. And it was Michael Keaton playing the old rich man. He goes, well, you don't, because you're stupid.
Damn. Wow.
And he just kept saying the meanest shit to her. And I seriously thought to myself, as I'm typing this thing, manly man shit, I'm thinking, oh, that's the Shannon Sharp shit. That's why you date these young chicks, because you can be intellectually superior, right? You definitely make way more money than her. And, you know, if she's fucking dudes her age, then it's going to definitely be real different fucking a grown man.
These dudes say that they want to be the first to show a woman things like trips to Florida and a Bugatti or whatever.
Bukkake? You want to be the first to show a Bukkake?
I said Bugatti.
You and Pascal are on this Bukkake kick with these young men right now.
I did not say that. But that's what they say. If you get a woman that's older, she's experienced, and she's already been to Paris.
Okay. Then she knows what fucking cool places to take me.
That's my opinion. But hey, they want
I want to be a tour guide for.
Impressed by every little thing that they do.
These are some very insecure men.
Dude. Okay, let me ask you this question, since we're going so far off the rails, and I do have more questions about the topic.
Sure.
So Stacey Ellis Ross, who I think is hot.
Tracy Ellis Ross.
Did I say Stacey?
Yes.
Stacey, Tracy, one of them hoes.
Nice.
One of them niggas. She's like, I date younger men, and she justified why she dates younger men, and everybody went, you go, girl. Shannon Sharp's like, yes, I fuck damn near children. And everybody's
her
like,
dating a 40-year-old guy is not the same as Shannon Sharp.
She's 52.
Yeah, she's 52 dating a 40-year-old guy. It's not the same as Shannon Sharp trailing in high schools.
That's a fact.
19 means she's been out for at least 2 years, okay?
Come on, man.
No, it doesn't.
She still had cheerleader uniforms, man. Come on.
Oh.
If the age ends in the word teen, the person is too young.
Particularly when you're 56, man.
I will add also Tracy Ellis Ross says she likes to date younger men. Not young. Younger.
Kush looks at 50 years.
Sound like some Shannon Sharp would say.
No, it sound like some country ass shit. My grandmama told me ain't nothing but 50.
Horrible.
Like, if we're talking about having 12 kids and homeschooling because you want to go back to tradition, well, I guess trying to find the most fertile womb is where Shannon Sharp is with his, throwback to a different time. Is that just what it is?
Here's the thing, right? A lot of these guys have the idea that they can have children until they're 90. But medically, your sperm is considered like geriatric when you're 35. So while it's considered risky for a woman to have a kid when she's older, it kind of is for a man too.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just shooting. Not even...
Geriatric sperm. Shannon Sharp. Get out of here.
Mick Jagger is 81 and is finally engaged. He's getting married. I think she's 30 something.
Good for him.
But is that bad?
Bad?
That's to your point. That's bigger than her age, the age gap.
It sure is.
And everything's hanging funny when you're 80. Your nipples, your testes.
I think Jagger is using rockstar rules. And a lot of these dudes will cite
that erectile dysfunction drug, rockstar rules.
Rockstar rules. You want to stay hard all night? Rockstar rules.
A lot of these dudes use celebrities as examples, and celebrities are kind of played by different rules.
If
Al Pacino, different rules.
Mick Jagger, Anthony Kiedis, like all these guys take off their clothes, they're going to look like the Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you want to see, as a young person, the Crypt Keeper just for the Birkin bag?
From what I can tell, and from having been a younger woman also, the answer is always going to be no.
Well, you know, Trump's spokeswoman, what's her name? The blonde one. What's her name? Trump's the press secretary.
Yeah, what's her name? Come on, it's your job. You're supposed to know these white people's names.
My name is the name that came to mind was Pam Bondi, but she's not the press secretary.
She's the attorney general.
Yeah,
she's married. She's like married to a way older guy. She's in her 20s. He's like 60. And he's got deep pockets.
That's a game changer apparently.
What a rich man.
Anna Nicole Smith. I've always struggled with that.
In what way?
Just sort of maybe she did love the guy.
No.
But money was definitely an incentive.
No, she didn't. That man was the Crypt Keeper when you met
him,
yeah. I don't even know how it was. He could barely talk. You think, man. That means he wants to see my titties.
Oh, no.
Man. I love you too, boo boo.
No.
That man was barely alive when he was going to that strip club to see that woman.
They had a kid.
Did they? There's a lot of talk that's not his.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because he was healthy. Maybe. Hi, Chokey.
That man was like barely audible. Did you ever listen to the tapes of her taking out her, what did she call her boobs? Her fun muffins or some shit like that?
No.
You want to see my fun muffins? Wasn't right, man. And she paid a certain price for it because she was so unfortunately, right? Her life got so public that it destroyed her and her child.
Mm-hmm.
So if you struggle with that, then I get it, but don't think that she was at the strip club like, you know, that man that looks like he's 1,000, kind of like Yoda. He's kind of cute.
You can like things about a guy. You can find things to like about your rich old husband. You can.
It's real easy when he's an oil tycoon. There's a huge difference between a rich guy that was self-employed and retired and like is a homeowner and does okay. And there's a huge difference between a dude that was an oil tycoon and's got millions upon millions upon millions. Like she could have dove into a Scrooge McDuck like pool of money and drowned in it with what he had. That's a huge difference from just a regular old guy.
Trump's press secretary's name is Carolyn Levitt.
And who's she banging?
My understanding with these older dudes is that the older dude is not trying to like jackhammer you all the time. By the time a dude gets that much older, he's very like cuddly and stuff. He's not pushing you for that kind of intimacy all the time. He is like a granddad-ish.
Ew.
That's what I've heard about Hugh Hefner.
What is about here?
That is what I've heard about Hugh Hefner.
Christmas at her house was very funny.
That's what I've heard about Hugh Hefner. That he's very like huggy and cuddly and stuff. It wasn't like always a sex thing with him. And that when a guy is that much older, that's how those relationships go.
Dude, you apparently didn't read that fucking expose at the end of Hugh Hefner's life when they talked about how disgusting the Playboy Mansion was, and he would make those girls stand in dog shit.
Oh God.
Yeah, just pee on me again, please.
That is really nasty.
Yeah. There's no look when you're 1,000,000 years old and you're fucking out there buying a woman that you met at a strip club. It's a sad state of everything, right?
Yeah.
Everything should be depressing to you. And if Anna Nicole Smith is someone
how is that different than Shannon Sharp?
I think that shit's depressing. I think that shit's hella fucking depressing that no one's everybody's yelling, you need an old woman instead of being like, dude, why are you trying to like buy chicks? That's fucking weird. That's some R. Kelly shit, dude. Like no one's telling him that.
And don't subject an older woman to your nonsense.
Yeah. Like there's a reason why you don't talk to women your age because they make you feel uncomfortable. You're going to tell me you can't find one woman around your age that likes to fuck? None of them. There's not one 40-year-old that likes to fuck.
Don't like his yoga outfits.
Yeah, like only Jason finds these 40-year-olds that like to fuck. Like, that's not true. That's not true at all.
I think Shannon Sharp thinks he's young because he's like
again. That's not true. That's
yeah.
not true at all.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's the sparks, man.
The sparks. I can't look at a 19-year-old young girl and think, yeah. No, that's like, oh, you're an attractive young lady. I'm sure your parents are proud. Like that's what I think. The last thing going through my mind is like, I bet she's never, been to Red Lobster.
So she can be impressed by the cheddar biscuits.
There's more where that came from, honey. Keep them coming.
Do you wonder if she has a womanly job?
She's on OnlyFans.
I met her at the Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme.
Like, seriously, man. That is foul. Foul. Leonardo DiCaprio is like, I don't know, Shannon.
I don't know, Shannon.
Doesn't DiCaprio buy a woman too?
Oh, dude, all these guys can, because I think they don't like a certain amount of conversation.
Well, I mean, a lot of it has to do with the fact that they are worried about being extorted.
You don't think a 19-year-old's going to extort you? That's all she knows how to do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they can sign NDAs. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio has them sign NDAs.
Fucking sue me all day long. You know what I don't have? Money. You know what that means? I have no fear. None. You think Tiger Woods didn't have chicks signing all the kind of disclosures? That man's worth $1 million, billion, $1 trillion. And his life got upended over literal hookers. You don't think he had people telling him, you know, Tiger, here is this long fucking book of 1,000 pages with really small type letters of all these men that do the same thing as you, that pay exorbitant amounts of money each month in child support payments. Maybe you shouldn't do this. It's not going to work out real well for you, Tiger.
Well, don't they have whole classes in the NFL for like these ball players trying to basketball and NFL?
Yes,
trying to tell them about marriage and women and money.
They listen to the money part, and to some degree, they listen to the marriage part, because you don't really hear about too much of these guys having 15 kids. Except the older dudes, yeah, but these young guys, no, not at all. If they're even in a relationship. But Shannon Sharpe, brother, come on. You can be. No, you don't want to talk to Vivica Fox?
No.
Vivica Fox.
Right? You don't want to try to fucking holler at Halle Berry? She's your age. Halle Berry is still ridiculously fine, and she's what? She's Pascal's age.
Shannon Sharpe is my age.
Yeah, you and Shannon Sharpe, you need to go out with your boy.
Shannon Sharpe is your age? You're 58?
I'm 56. Shannon Sharpe is 56.
56. Wow. Look at that, Pascal.
Nah, I'd rather not.
But I mean, there's who we were talking about. Me and Gene Bajan were talking about this the other day. We were like, the finest women are is Halle Berry. What's the other one? Who's the one that's Selma Hayek?
Mm-hmm.
They're both Pascal's age.
Yeah,
they look good, man. I don't know.
Right? You gonna tell me Shannon Sharpe can't? Hey, Halle Berry, you got any friends? You tell me Gayle King ain't down to smash?
Gayle King.
Gayle King got a body.
Gayle's in space.
Marissa Tomei? Come on, Shannon Sharpe.
Shannon Sharpe ain't trying to have no conversation with a woman. First of all, he has no conversation. He's not that bright.
He's a podcaster.
Kind of a Bama.
He talks for a living.
He's good on sports, but when he interviews people that aren't sports related, he's messy.
He's good on fashion.
If you want to know what Tucson is talking about, if you go into the clips playlist that we have, we did an entire hour breakdown of the Shannon Sharpe and Cat Williams interview, where a good 10 minutes of it is making fun of Shannon Sharpe's sweatsuit and how uncomfortable he got as Cat Williams stood up in his face. Charles Go says, is this a black intervention?
It kind of is.
Sharon Osbourne looks like a ghoul right now. Sharon Osbourne's got to be close to 80. Marissa Tomei is 60, says KM. Looks better than ever. Lisa Bonet is in her 50s. Oh, Shannon Sharpe, you can't holler at Lisa Bonet? Hey, Lisa Bonet, it's me, Shannon Sharpe. I'm not going to do you like Lenny Kravitz. I'm not light skinned.
Mm. Does Lisa Bonet want to talk? Does she have conversations with these dudes?
I don't know. I think Lisa Bonet has a paper bag test because she went from Lenny Kravitz to Jason Momoa.
True.
So I think she might tell Shannon, you too, Doc.
Crispy.
Yeah. If I wanted to fuck Wesley Snipes, I would have in 1987.
Yeah,
Wesley Snipes doesn't have these problems, and he was like a professional coxman throughout the 80s and 90s. Pascal. Am I lying, Pascal Robert?
Allegedly, he was getting around.
I mean, the opening scene in Jungle Fever just kind of cemented him literally and figuratively in the minds of many people in America as a professional coxman. You never hear about Wesley with these problems.
Well, I don't know.
He needs to. Who is he hanging out with?
Shannon Sharp?
Yeah.
Athletes.
I mean, Chad Johnson, who does the nighttime show with, you don't hear Chad Johnson talking about these fucking kids.
Chad Johnson be talking about a lot of things.
Chad Johnson is crazy. But he doesn't seem like he's kid fucking crazy. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
One of my favorite jokes to make about Jason is calling him Ocho Cinco. Saying that everyone in Mexico thinks that he's Ocho Cinco.
Everyone in Mexico right now thinks I'm a Mexican man because 2 white people have stopped me already in the street and called me a Mexican man's name. And I'm like, I don't know who that is, but I'm winning.
There are black Mexicans.
Not here. And there's like 15. Like, let's stop acting like it's Brazil.
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp did leave his job. You got everybody in the comments now are talking about Shannon
Sharp has a manly job.
Is it?
It is what the kids want.
Can I ask you guys this question seriously? Because we are of a different generation. What would have been the equivalent when we were younger? Would it have been like musician or actor?
VJ.
I don't know anyone that wanted to be an MTV VJ. That is definitely a job you fell into because you failed.
You don't want to be downtown Julie Brown.
I'd wanted to be in downtown Julie Brown, but be her, no.
You want to be the other Julie Brown.
That's really both of them. I could have been in the swirl. I've been really happy with my life.
Wubba wubba wubba.
There's a few jobs that you fall into: newscaster, MTV VJ, host of a game show. I've never met a young kid who was like, oh man, one day I can host The Price is Right. Like, if you know that kid, that fucker's weird and he shot at the pool. Fuck that kid, man.
One day I can host The Price is Right.
Yeah,
and that kid was Ryan Seacrest.
I'm gonna have a media empire built off reality television. Like, fuck is wrong with you, Ernest? That's not. I don't think reading the news in 2025 is an aspirational job. You fall into that job because the acting didn't pay off. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But let's not act like someone's sitting at home like practicing reading shit in front of a camera.
Nicaragua.
The movie starts off right with the slow pan down so you can see the whole studio. It's like, all my life I wanted to read the news. He's training with an eye chart so he can like for the montage scene.
Ridiculous. Kushlook says, you know who wanted to be a DJ? Rush Limbaugh. So for a time, being a DJ was definitely what young people wanted to be.
Well, I think that's a different time where people looked at, and this goes into the whole influencer thing, right? there's a moment in time where if you like music and you want to be around music and you are honest with yourself and go, I can't play it, but I want to be a part of it. So you find yourself at a job with a record label. We had Tom Werman on the show last year, I think, and he's a very famous producer. He actually discovered Kiss. He produced Blue Oyster Cult, all the 80s hair metal stuff. He's got a hell of a resume. And he talked about how he got into music, like actually in the industry part of it. And for a long time before he was even producing, he was an A&R. But the bottom line was he could work in music.
Yeah.
So I get that you can want an aspirational job like that. But the idea of being an influencer to me would be like saying you wanted to be a late night infomercial person. Because if you watched infomercials, those people sold everything. And what you're later going to find out is that we're all scams. And sometimes those people did time.
ShamWow was not a scam.
You're going to love my nuts. Remember that?
Well, I remember years and years and years ago, Gen Z was asked when they were children. It had to do with Crayola. They were trying to find names that would resonate with kids at the time for their crayons, for the colors. And people were choosing stuff like Rockstar and things like that. And then it came out in some survey that what the kids really wanted to be was famous. So I think the kids still want to be famous, and influencer is just a way to be famous.
I think that's the easiest way to fame without having, because again, back to the whole like working in the industry part of things, you're not necessarily famous, but you're around famous people, but you yourself don't have a public profile that people would know outside of the industry, right? And the same could be said for producers for the most part, because there's like a handful of producers that people know, but they know those people either because they're tied to massive records or like Quincy Jones, they're kind of amazing musicians themselves. So they're not just project managers like most producers.
Sure.
This is a different time where everybody's front facing. So even people that years ago would have been background individuals that we never would have known, everyone knows those people now. So this idea that they want to say again,
Benny Blanco
from the movie. You don't remember me, Benny Blanco?
He's either married to or is going to marry Selena Gomez.
Oh, I know the guy you're talking about now. Yeah.
So years ago, I don't think a guy like that would have been too famous.
Bay Planner is right. The dude that was selling the speed reading and miracle cures did go to jail.
I know that guy.
Yeah. I begged my grandma for one of those things because I thought it was going to be so smart.
Oh my gosh.
And she bought it for me, and here I am.
It's a good way to get parents to buy anything, like those baby Mozart things.
Oh man, I apologized to my daughter the other day about that.
Baby Mozart. You wanted her to be Mozart.
We thought someone gave us that as like a baby shower gift, and we put our daughter in front of baby Mozart, and we were like, just let it sink in. Just gonna osmosis set in, and she'll be a little genius.
Yeah. A lot of people think that.
I totally apologized to her. I was like, I'm sorry. We thought that a video cassette was going to make you a genius. It's all our fault. But I do want to ask you guys this last question before we go. To what extent do Trump's tariffs address concrete obstacles such as automation, skill shortages, and union decline versus serving as a form of political spectacle?
That's the point. That's the whole point, Jason, is that Trump is a con artist, as we know, who is now president. And I don't think anyone really believes that his attempt to say he's going to bring back manufacturing jobs to the United States is going to be a policy prescription to change with the trends of anti-unionism, automation, and the sheer costs of labor. So in reality, Trump is blowing smoke up not only his administration's behind, but the behind of most Americans who are buying into these tariffs only to be facing inflation and higher costs.
Tucson, you want to add to that?
Hmm. um, just honestly, I remember coming back from visiting a bunch of factories in China like 10 years ago. We were discussing my coworker and I discussing how manufacturing is never going to come back to the United States, especially after what we had just seen. It's not a thing, but there definitely needs to be some kind of, I guess, remedy, or it's going to be politically advantageous for somebody to solve this loneliness, manliness crisis thing. And that's something that what's his face is trying to cash in on.
So you think that's actually an interesting point. So you think Trump is just trying to take advantage of this this I think more than a crisis of quote unquote masculinity, it's just a crisis of loneliness. So do you think he's trying to say, well, look, there was this time where people had community and good jobs, and I'm going to bring it back. Do you think people believe it though?
I think he believes coal miners are magical. And I think that there are people who believe in Trump who believe that he can turn back the hands of time, not just like to the 1950s. Like it's like the Flintstones. You're working in the rock quarry, and then the bell rings, and then you slide down a dinosaur tail, and you hop in your car, and then you go to the suburbs with your wife and kid and your wisecracking appliances. It's true. A lot of people believe coal miners.
I do that. And you know what I tell them to do? Go watch The Wonderful World of the Whites. There's a great scene with Jessica White, and I think it's a PBS interview from the 80s where he talks about putting a knife to a woman's neck he was dating because she made her eggs too runny for his liking.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yes. Yes. And he said it in front of a camera with no fear whatsoever. Like, this is just the way I talk.
There is a lot of that. I feel definitely the misogyny and sexism has been ratcheted up. I just want to read this quote. Let's see. Hold on a second. On Wednesday, they're talking about Jesse Waters from Fox News. Waters insisted that Trump's tariffs would bring back manufacturing and reanimate American men. He was elaborating on a point made earlier by Fox wingnut Batya Ungar Sargon, who claimed that the U.S. had quote unquote shipped jobs for men who worked with their hands for a living and rely on their brawn and physicality off to other countries to build up their middle class. Waters went on, when you sit behind a screen all day, it makes you a woman. Studies have shown this. If you're out working, you are around other guys, you are not around HR ladies and lawyers. That gives you estrogen.
My problem with the internet is that you can say anything. And if you say it with such confidence, right? People go, that's a bar. That's a bar. I sit in front of a computer a lot, and I've never had my penis invert. Never.
Are you saying you never had a piece of hot coal drop on your penis?
That too. I've never worked in a coal mine, so I don't know if everything gets longer in the coal mine or girthier.
Ooh. You did work on an oil rig.
I did work on an oil rig, and
Did you decide to work there because it was manly?
I decided to work there because I needed money, and I was fooled into thinking that there was money there. There was not.
There was not.
There's not for the job I had at all. And no one had a massive penis. It wasn't a rig full of.
You go around checking?
That was part of my job.
Yeah, gotta take surveys.
Let me check the manliness there. Oh, okay. It's a lot of hair. It's like a palm tree.
Shout out to Bay Planner 0529 for becoming a new member. Thank you.
Gosh, look, says, speak for yourself. We all get an innie at times.
Thank you, Bay Planner, for supporting Jason in his manly job.
I feel like I had the manliest job, and my first day on that job, I will never forget this for as long as I'm black. There's a thing called a personnel. So if you imagine an oil rig, and they're very high in the air, probably from the ocean to the platform. I'm not trying to be funny. It's probably like 80 feet. So it's intimidating to see. And I worked on these things called jack up rigs, which meant that they would jack themselves. That does not sound right.
Yeah, boy.
Damn it.
Nice and manly. Nice and manly.
Damn it.
Check your body. Check your rig.
Now everybody thinks I'm working at the fucking Madonna Truth or Dare oil rig. Just a bunch of Southern dudes voguing as you play.
The workers oil rig.
Voguers of the world unite. No. So when you weren't this, everything I'm going to say right now is going to be bad. So I'm saying it. When you weren't drilling out the hole, then the rig would jack down to like sea level. And when you were drilling out the hole, it would jack up. Right. So I usually had to go on things that were already working, that were in process of drilling out a hole. And then once you drill out the hole and you test it, then that rig jacks down and you move it, and then a platform comes on it, right? So anyway, my first job was about 180 miles out. So it was out. It was a long fucking boat ride. I didn't get a helicopter. And so they send this thing down to a boat called a personnel basket. And it looks like a big hoop and then a net. And it's tied to a crane and it drops down, and I thought you got inside of the basket and it lifted you up. No, your luggage goes inside of the basket and you stand on the outside.
Oh.
And it jacks you up. Or pulls you up.
Yeah, boy.
And as you can imagine, it's windy, so you're swaying as it's pulling you up. And keep in mind, the person pulling you up can't see. So it's a series of hand signals that he gets. Okay, it's down. Okay, pull him up. And they do pull you up at a decent rate, but they could see that there was a new guy on because I was gripping onto the fucking net outside of the net like this, right? And so they swang it.
Wow.
And then, so you're hanging over the ocean, and then they fucking swang me around hella hard. And then they, of course, bring you down. But I was terrified of a personnel basket for my first 2 or 3 times. And then I just got used to it. It was like, whatever. Then you're like hanging off
several OSHA violations.
Doing fucking ballet off the side after a while, but it's a scary job. It's an uncomfortable job. I've seen men break down and cry several times during that job, because of problems at their homes.
Is he frozen?
He froze.
It's interesting that he mentions heights, because when I think of manly jobs, I think of those black and white pictures of the guys building the Empire State Building, and they're sitting on the beams with their lunch pails,
kicking their feet in there. Do. No, Henry died yesterday. No
exactly. They're eating cigarettes. They're wearing newsboy hats. They're chilling in black and white, and that's a manly job.
But there's people died doing those jobs. They died a lot.
That's the manliness.
There's a reason why we have OSHA.
Well, we need to get rid of OSHA. That's the next department we're going to get rid of.
Are you crazy?
Yes, I mean that's the way these Republicans act. They don't like OSHA. They don't like unions. And honestly, if we do get factory jobs, like the story in Ohio with the Haitians and the cat disappearing and all of this foolishness, the Haitians that worked there worked in factories.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the people who are going to be working in the factories. If you do bring back any percentage of manufacturing, it's going to be legal immigrants.
You haven't heard about any Haitians getting fucking snatched up?
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
Yeah, the motherfuckers is working.
Yes, he be at work.
Hey, Pierre, aren't you happy you're making $5 a decade right now? Shut up and keep working. We're gonna call you the N-word all day long.
There you go. There you go.
That's America.
That is America.
Nobody wants to work in a fucking factory. Nobody wants to work on an oil rig. They're hiring right now. You can go do it. You can go work in North Dakota.
Oh, he broke up. You can also work at a meat packing plant, which people don't want to do. And then you lose your finger, and then it goes in the ground beef, and then you keep it moving.
Oh, that's nasty.
They get these repetitive movement injuries, and they lose fingers. And nobody wants to work at those jobs. They rather work at Amazon and pee in a bottle than work at those places.
Jason, why don't you wrap it up because you're crashing?
Yeah, my thing keeps crashing. It's really pissing me off. Thank you, guys.
Can I just make another point real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
There was a survey done. 80% of people said bringing back manufacturing to the United States was a good idea, but 25% of people said they would work at those factories. So, factories for thee, not factories for me.
That was kind of my point in the intro. I don't think that people really want to screw in iPhone screws.
No.
I don't think they want to monitor a machine. I mean, that's what a lot of people do in a lot of oil field work. It's a lot of sitting and monitoring things. Depending on the cycle of oil, you can make a lot of money. Mm-hmm. But it's temporary. It sucks. It's a lot of hours. It's a 24-hour job. So you're always working these crazy shifts. It's super dangerous. People do it for a minute. Like, I'd met so many people that came in, got a check, and they fucking bounced.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Sorry, too. I know you want to go. And I know you should go. But real quick, when I went to those factories in China like 10 years ago, it looked like a cool enough job. Put the belly band on the socks, put the little hook, they could go on a little hanger. You have your headphones in, you do your hours, and you leave. But the people, there were a lot of things that were automated, and the people that I saw that were always working were the people who were fixing the machines. So that is really where you want to be, not the person on the factory floor. Anyway.
No, nobody wants to be the person affected. Nobody wants to be Norma Ray.
No.
And no one remembers Norma Ray. That's the thing. Norma Ray is like, you go show that to a bunch of young, I'm a young leftist. Let's watch Norma Ray. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
What do you mean they're making clothes?
You got to be I Love Lucy with the chocolates at the
That's all people would understand. And even then,
no, the Flintstones at the rock quarry.
I think the Flintstones and the rock quarry and the wacky appliances is the fucking, that is what people think it is. It is not that. Thank you guys very much for joining us. I'll see you guys next week. Pascal, do you have anything to say as a parting shot?
Shannon Sharp is a fool.
He is. I would like to say shout out to Diego Rivera for painting Factory Workers. Look into it if you like art.
Oh, wow.
Guys in overalls.
I thought you weren't supposed to like Diego Rivera because he was such a douche.
He was a douche, but Frida got her revenge. She had her ice pick dude, and you know she's banging dudes on the side.
She's banging a lot of people on the side.
She was banging a lot of people on the side.
Banger.
You know what I'm saying?
She's a banger.
Yeah, and she's an icon. He's not.
Ooh.
Ouch.
Winner, chicken dinner.
There we go.
Ball game, Frida Kahlo. Thank you guys. We are out.
Out.
Peace.